Oscar guy here. I'm finally back with a new Oscar predictions video. I know it's been a while. I've been working behind the scenes, y'all. I've been keeping up with everything that's been going on. There's a lot that has happened since my last predictions video, which was back in July or August, I think, before any of the fall festivals happened. Now the fall festivals have happened. TIFF happened. Telluride happened. Venice happened. New York Film Festival is going on right now. Not a lot of world premieres happening there. We have a lot of new developments, and my predictions have changed up pretty significantly. The biggest change is that Dune Part 2 was delayed to next year, so that is completely out. We're going to do this round of predictions, which is the post-festival predictions, by the way, in chunks. We're going to do it in chunks this time because my last predictions video was an hour and 46 minutes long, and that was a big mistake. Maybe y'all like long videos like that, but it was a lot. It was a lot to edit. It was a lot. Dude, that video took literally like 6 hours to encode because I'm working with a 2016 computer right here. So, hey, man, I'm working with what I got. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do just Best Picture and Best Director for this video, and then I'm going to be doing the acting categories for one video, the screenplay categories for the next video, and then the last video is going to be just all of the tech categories, all of the below the line categories. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try that format out. I think it's going to work out just fine. Bear with me as I dive into my second year doing this channel.
Fabulous. That's the way that dog was.
Diving into Best Picture. Look, man, I still got Killers of the Flower Moon at the top. Hey, I feel like I got some arguments to be made here because a lot of people, now that Poor Things has come out and has gone gangbusters with critics, I mean rapturous reviews and reactions for Poor Things. A lot of people saying that is now the new frontrunner for Best Picture. I can kind of see it. It's definitely solidly in my top three. It jumped up 11 places. I had it below the line here in my last predictions video. It's very solidly in my top three. It's at number 2 right now. A lot of people are starting to lose faith in Killers of the Flower Moon, and that's even coming from people who have seen the film. I have not seen the film. The film is not out yet. It comes out next weekend. I'm stoked, bro. So I'm not gonna jump on this bandwagon where everyone is underestimating Killers or undervaluing Killers until I see the movie. Once I see the movie, I will have a better understanding of where it may place in this top 3. I still think it's going to be top 3 even if I do change my mind about it. But right now, I have it winning picture. I have it winning picture for now. Poor Things, like I said, a very close second. Actually, Oppenheimer and Poor Things kind of duking it out for that number 2 spot there. Poor Things, I've heard amazing things about. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited for it. I hear Emma Stone gives an incredible performance. I hear the writing is very good. The presentation, the craft, the cinematography is all incredible. And people say it's kind of like a borderline masterpiece, and Yorgos' best film. And Yorgos, did very well with The Favorite, which was his last film. Did very well at the Academy. It's going to be everywhere. I have it nominated for a lot of things in this round of predictions. So that's at number 2. Oppenheimer, like I said, is very solidly in the top 3. Maybe that could walk away with a picture win. I don't know. As great as that movie is, it would be an amazing Best Picture win, but I don't see it happening for whatever reason. For whatever reason, that doesn't seem like it kind of ends on a downer, man. And it's just, I don't know if the Academy's just going to be like, woo, like, sure, Parasite ends on a downer, but that was a different movie. I don't know. I just don't see it. But anyway, it's very solidly in the top 10 here. The Holdovers, I have at number 4. I have heard great things about The Holdovers. I hear it's Alexander Payne's best film since Sideways, at least. Some people are even saying it's even better than Sideways. It's a very warm and fuzzy and cozy crowd pleaser comedy drama. Very tear jerky near the end, and very funny. I hear it's hilarious. So I think that film is going to balance things out in this top 10 here. Possible director nomination, possible screenplay. Well, it's probably going to get into screenplay, absolutely. Possible lead actor, lead supporting actress, maybe supporting actor for Dominic Sessa. It's in, absolutely. A new development has occurred. So Toronto Film Festival happened, and the TIFF Audience Award went to American Fiction, and The Holdovers got second place, and Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron got third place. First animated film to ever get the top 3 at TIFF, by the way. Everybody thought The Holdovers was going to win. American Fiction ends up winning. People loved it. The stats indicate that if you win TIFF, you're getting nominated for Best Picture. Like, that's just what the stats say. If I pull up, I did do some breakdowns here. Oh, my monitor's so bright. Jeez Louise, man. So, from what my research tells me about the correlation between Best Picture and the TIFF Audience Award, since 2008, every TIFF winner has been nominated for Best Picture, except for Where Do We Go Now in 2011, and that's it. Since 2008, that has been the only film that has won TIFF and didn't get into Best Picture. So there's a 95 to 99% chance that American Fiction is going to get into Best Picture. And no one really saw that coming. I've heard good things about it. Some people are confused that it won, but it might be a one-off thing where it just misses Best Picture. It might be a stat-breaking thing. There's always been like 1 or 2 films in the top 3 TIFF Audience Award lineup that hasn't gotten into Best Picture. So last year was The Fabelmans and Women Talking, which got into Best Picture. Glass Onion, which missed. Year before that, Belfast won. Power of the Dog was number 3. Those got into Best Picture. And then Scarborough missed. Year before that was Nomadland, and then One Night in Miami and Beans missed Best Picture. Year before that, Jojo Rabbit won, and then Marriage Story and Parasite, all Best Picture nominees. Year before that, Green Book won, Roma got in, and then If Beale Street Could Talk got into TIFF, missed Best Picture. So there's always at least 1 or 2 of these TIFF top 3 movies that have gotten into Best Picture. So this year we have American Fiction, The Holdovers, and The Boy and the Heron. Boy and the Heron most likely not getting into Best Picture. It's just going to be an animated feature thing. So that leaves American Fiction and The Holdovers. So for right now, I have American Fiction in for getting into Best Picture. I don't know a lot about the movie. I hear it's a kind of a crowd pleaser. I hear it's very funny, but it's also very thought-provoking. I have it in just because it won TIFF by surprise. It's in. Moving on from there is Past Lives. Can we pray? Let us pray. We need to pray for Past Lives because I am losing more and more hope. I'm not losing faith. I'm losing hope. I have faith in Past Lives that it's still going to get into picture and maybe screenplay and maybe actress. We'll get to that. And maybe director, but that's probably not going to happen. I don't want it to lose steam. It's losing steam. It's really I am becoming more and more concerned about Past Lives. I really don't want to see it fall by the wayside. But I still have it in. I still have it in my top 10 here. I mean, even in my last predictions video, when people were still predicting Greta Lee, people were still predicting John Majaro, predicting it in even tech categories like score. Even then, I only had it in picture and screenplay, and now I still only have it in picture and screenplay, hanging on by a thread. And it's very sad because that is an amazing film. I have it in for now. I have it in for now. We'll just leave it at that. Barbie is definitely in. There's some people even saying that we're underestimating Barbie, and since Barbie has just been the talk of the town this year as the biggest cinematic sensation of the year, some people were even saying that maybe that could be a surprise winner. It's unlikely, but I respect that prediction. I don't know. It's not in my top 5, but I do have it very solidly in the top 10 here. I'd be shocked if it missed, but it's in. All of Us Strangers, another new development. Another movie I didn't really see coming. All of Us Strangers premiered at Telluride, and people have been raving about this film. It sounds interesting, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, it's a very immaculately made film, out across all levels. Beautifully acted, beautifully shot, beautifully written. I hear it's heartbreaking and also beautiful, and that sounds like Aftersun. Maybe this could be this year's Aftersun. Maybe where it will miss. It could miss Best Picture, or it could, just get an acting nomination for Andrew Scott, or maybe just a screenplay nomination. I don't know. But for right now, people are really, really raving about this movie. And, Best Picture to me is getting a little bit slim here. So I have it in. I have it in for now. And maybe number 8's a little bit high. But, guys, it has... What does it have on Metacritic right now? Okay, well, it has a 92 on Metacritic. It used to be higher. It was like 98 at some point. Okay, so it's 92. All right. So it's still pretty good. Maybe that'll change, but I have it in. So next up is Maestro. So Maestro's had a very interesting lifespan here. Before the festivals ever happened, I had some reluctant feelings about it because it test screened and people were like, it's great, but there's some things wrong with it. And some of those speculations still stand. In some people, but some people really love this movie. The directorial craft is elevated to the point where people are saying like this is like it's. You thought Bradley Cooper directed A Star Is Born very well. Well, this is on a completely different level. The artistic achievement that he brings to the table with Maestro is astounding, from what people have been saying. And people were saying his performance is very astounding. And then some people were saying that he's giving a little too much. He's kind of maybe overacting or overperforming. I'm not sure. He's like giving a performance that is like Beatty. From what I've thrown that word around a lot in my past videos. Giving a Beatty performance, it means Oscar bait, which means like acting to a point where, oh, give me an Oscar. Here are my Oscar clips. Like the whole movie's an Oscar clip, basically. He gives it a very Beatty performance, and he's directing himself. So that some people are saying that is like, could he direct himself to an acting Oscar? I don't know. Could happen. The directing is on point. The vision is on point. The acting is on point. And Carey Mulligan, I hear, is outstanding, especially in the third act of the film. I have heard the screenplay is very shoddy, though. It's a little uneven. It doesn't really tie things together very well. It's a bit messy. And that's what people were saying, like I said, before the festivals even happened. During the test screenings, that's what people were saying. It sounds to me that they didn't really patch that up very well, but the other aspects of the film, like the performances, like the crafts, the directing, kind of elevates it and carries the film. So, and it seems like a film that the Academy is going to just gobble up. Biopic based on a real life figure. Some of it's shot in black and white, some of it's shot in color. It's about Leonard Bernstein. It's just something the Academy will go gaga over. That's in. That is in. I don't think Maestro will miss. I'll be a little surprised if it missed. So that is in. Number 10, I have Anatomy of a Fall. Now, there have been some developments for Anatomy of a Fall. France decided to submit a different film for international feature. It submitted The Taste of Things, which I think the original name for that film was La Pâte au Feu, something like that. It won Best Director at Cannes, I believe, and I hear, people have been giving it some positive reactions. So France selected that film instead of Anatomy of a Fall, which won the Palme d'Or. Why that is, we're not really sure. It might have to do with Justine Triet saying some kind of political things about France's government that maybe France wasn't really a big fan of. Maybe that had to do something with it. I'm not sure. But in any case, it's not getting submitted for international feature. But the reactions to Anatomy of a Fall have been so strong with people who have seen it. People say it's absolutely riveting, brilliantly written, brilliantly acted, immaculately directed film, multilingual courtroom drama. It's more than just a courtroom drama from what people have been saying. It's just a roller coaster, and it's an edge of your seat kind of drama thriller. Thrillers are tough for the Academy, but from what I've heard, people really love this movie, and they're going to be campaigning it, and I have it at number 10 here. I hope it gets in. I haven't seen the film yet. It's not out yet, but I have it in. And I have it in some other categories as well, and we'll get to that. So, below the line, we have our first question mark of the season, the one outstanding question mark, and that is The Color Purple. We don't know much about Color Purple. We have one trailer, I think, and the trailer makes it seem fine. It hasn't really blown everybody away. The poster came out and it looks a little kind of not great. It's kind of haphazardly put together. It just feels very kind of fake, I guess. We don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we'll come out and it'll be an incredible contender. And we're going to have to reformat our predictions entirely. But right now, it's a big question mark. We don't know a lot about it. It could go either way. It could be a dud. It could be fine, an agreeable musical adaptation, or it could be amazing. We don't know. So I'm having a very tough time kind of placing it here. I have it just barely not making the cut here. I just have it there, and I don't really know what else to say. It's just a big question mark until it comes out. I mean, it's coming out Christmas, and Christmas released movies, it's a risk. The West Side Story kind of bombed in a way when that released around Christmas. These musical movies, maybe people were kind of burnt out on these adaptations, and the filmmakers behind The Color Purple haven't done a lot in Hollywood, I don't think. It's just a big question mark. I'm not sure where it's going to lie, but for right now, it's number 11. We got to move on. Next is Saltburn. Saltburn did premiere. There are some people who absolutely love it. I hear the cinematography and the presentation of the film is very bold, an artistic achievement. I hear Barry Keoghan gives an incredibly committed and balls-to-the-wall performance. I've also heard that it is very divisive. Well, not really maybe divisive, but maybe a little over the top, a little intense, and very uncomfortable viewing. It might not be up the Academy's alley. It could, a lot of people have been comparing it to Babylon. This might be this year's Babylon, where it might garner a cult following. People might really be over the moon about it, but it might misfire. Now, it's not getting as polarized reactions as Babylon, which is interesting. So there's that. But I don't know. It might be done. I haven't seen the film, but from what I've heard, people are kind of saying that it might miss. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens with it. So next up is May December, the new Todd Haynes film. It's kind of in the same vein as Saltburn. They're two very different movies, but both critically acclaimed movies. But it's, again, an uncomfortable viewing experience. It kind of juggles a lot of different tones. It's very campy and funny in one regard, and then in another regard, it is a very deep dissection of very sensitive subjects. I'm not sure how well that will play with the Academy. I think the best shots for May December are in the acting categories. Maybe one, maybe two, possibly even the master package for a lead category and two supporting categories. Portman, Moore, and Melton. Could happen. And I heard the screenplay is very solid. So maybe that has a number 5 spot for adapted, original screenplay. So I don't know. I have it outside the 10 for now. I have it there at number 13. Moving on from there is Ferrari. Ferrari premiered. Kind of muted reactions. People, some people don't not like the movie, but I've just heard it's fine. Adam Driver's fine. The movie itself is a little messy. The sound design I hear is actually kind of like not great. I've heard Penelope Cruz is fantastic, and we'll get to her later in the acting categories. But as far as picture, it might be dead in the water. We'll see. We will see when it actually gets released widely. Next, I have Air. I think Air has lost its air, if you will. Good one, James. It's lost its steam. It came out way earlier in the year. Maybe it will have a resurgence and it'll come back and maybe get some Globes nominations, like for Viola Davis and screenplay. Maybe for Matt Damon and even like Ben Affleck, because they're expanding the lineups, by the way, to 6 nominees in each category, by the way. So that really opens up the possibilities for films like Air to get nominated in these other categories, in musical or comedy categories, if it'll get campaigned in musical comedy, which I think it will. So maybe that has it going for it. Maybe it will gain more momentum as the year goes on. I doubt it. I think it's basically done. Some people are kind of circling back on it as like, oh, this could be a possibility, a surprise, but I don't know. I just don't see it. So it's at number 15. It's going to be falling down the list until something else changes for me. So moving on from there is The Zone of Interest. I'm keeping it at number 16. As critically acclaimed as that film is, let's see that Metacritic score, baby. Let's pull it up. Let's pull up the Zone of Interest Metacritic score. Here we go. It's in the 90s. I'm pretty sure it's in the 90s. And Metacritic, 95. It's got a 95 on Metacritic. It's got a 95 on Metacritic. It's one of the most critically acclaimed. It's one of the most critically acclaimed films of the year, easily. That being said, it's a tough watch. I hear it's very deeply disturbing and unsettling, tackling themes of the nature of evil and humanity. It's really just kind of drains you in a way, but the film is so original in its directing, in its vision, in its messages. Jonathan Glazer kind of outdid himself with this film. It won the Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival. But I've heard it's just not Best Picture material. That would be crazy if it was nominated. It's just not Best Picture material. I'm stoked to see it. But it's a very outside shot for Best Picture. If anything, the director's branch will go gaga for it. But why have I said that twice? I never use that. I never use that phrase. So yeah, number 17 is The Killer, the David Fincher film that did premiere. I hear it's fine. Kind of maybe mid-level David Fincher, mid to high, maybe. I don't know. The Academy doesn't really go for thriller-ass thrillers like this, so it's going to be a shot in the dark for this film to get really any nominations. But I'm excited to see it. It looks interesting. But for Best Picture, I don't think it's going to happen. And then at the bottom of the list, I have Nyad, Next Goal Wins, and then, Priscilla comes to mind. Didn't really add that to the list just yet. But Nyad, I've heard lukewarm things about. I hear it's fine. I think the ending of the film has kind of won people over. But other than that, it's by the directors of documentaries like The Rescue and Free Solo. This is like their first actual film that's based on real events, but it's not a documentary, obviously. It's got Jodie Foster and Annette Bening in it. So yeah, as far as picture, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. And same thing with Next Goal Wins. That came out and people were like, yeah, cool. And that was it. So I don't think that's going to be going anywhere. But at long last, that is Best Picture. That's my top 10. It could very well change, but that's what I got right now. Some of these films are going to be coming out this month, next month. I'm going to have a much different perspective after I see these films. So that's Best Picture. Thank you guys for watching. Next, I'm going to be doing director, and then going to be doing the acting categories, screenplay categories, and the text. So thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Oscar Guy is out.